Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review. And welcome back to another part of my James Cameron reviews leading up to Avatar: The Way of Water. And today's movie review is going to be on True Lies. So True Lies came out in 1994, the same year as Pulp Fiction, The Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump, and especially The Lion King, and stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, Bill Paxton, and a bunch of others, and tells the story of this secret agent named Harry Tasker, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who pretty much he's pretty much a government agent and a spy at the same time, and also like pretends to be a dull computer salesman. He's pretty much he goes on a mission to find the stolen nuclear weapons in the in the hands of terrorists, and then Harry pretty much while Harry's on a mission, his wife Helen pretty much gets into an affair with Simon, and pretty much tries to lies about it, and so Harry was pretty much do a double task of investigating what his wife is up to, and the mission to retrieve the stolen nuclear. So yeah, I mean, True Lies is pretty much the most different James Cameron movies out of all James Cameron movies. I mean, True Lies is basically a spy action comedy, which is not really James Cameron's thing. I mean, we all know James Cameron for his action and sci-fi movies, plus Titanic. Since Titanic is pretty much famous, but I mean, I don't. I mean, we all like James Cameron isn't really the guy who you'd expect to do an action, a spy comedy, a spy thriller. Like this movie is pretty much a parallel of like James Cameron trying to make his own James Bond movie. You can like easily compare to James Bond, as it does take a lot of similar elements of James Bond. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger literally looks like James Bond, and yeah, now when it comes to this in comparison to other James Cameron movies, I can totally see why this is the least recognizable. In fact, out of all the James Cameron movies, this is pretty much the least I have to say about it. Like I don't really have a lot to say about this movie, but of course, at least I'm still here reviewing this movie, and yeah, I mean, considering that I love action, I love spy, and I love James Bond. I also do enjoy movies that try to imitate James Bond like this one. So this could be something really cool. And yeah, I saw True Lies once, like a few years ago, like back way before the pandemic. I saw this movie and I really enjoyed this. And but I figured that I even figured that this isn't really a type of James Cameron movie. I think I saw this in 2018, or 2019, like somewhere around that. And at the time, James Cameron was my favorite director of all time. So yeah, knowing his style, yeah, this one just may not scream James Cameron. And this is just my second time right now. As part of my marathon, rewatching and review all of James Cameron movies. Yeah, I think True Lies is awesome. Yeah, this was such an awesome movie, and it was such a blast. Again, I don't really have much to say about this, because mainly what the reason why, because I mean, the best. I mean, it's not trying to be smart. It's not trying to be intelligent. It's not trying to be deep. It's just a fun spy action comedy, and that's pretty much what this movie is. And I mean, although saying that, I said that this may be the most different James Cameron movie, but it's not really a bad thing, as it's sort of a good thing that James Cameron really tries out something different. He action sci-fi, sci-fi, with massive visual spectacle is pretty much his type of movie. You all know that, but I applaud Cameron for actually trying to go out of his comfort zone to make something that's very unique, that's very different, and I think James Bond should. James Cameron should direct a James Bond movie one day, and I'd be down to see a James Cameron James Bond movie. That would be sick, man. Um, Arnold Schwarzenegger is awesome. Yeah, this is pretty much on the last movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger works with James Cameron, and man, I mean he was awesome in this, like trying to like an awesome spy hero, like pretty much like here reminds me of James Bond, especially every time he wears that tuxedo. I mean, you really get that James Bond vibes from this. And I love his wife, Helen. Pretty much a very underrated performance from Jamie Lee Curtis. But personally, my favorite character is the daughter, Dana. Dana, yeah. I I really enjoy Dana. I mean, she's just so true, sweet. That she does bring a lot of charm to this movie, and yeah, and man, the actions. I mean, I think the story. I like the story actually. It's a really great story. It's a typical spy story, but I like the suspicious Helen plot line. Where the plot line where Harry finds out Helen is having affairs with someone else, and he must investigate why what his wife is up to. I like the plot line, but yeah, this movie's biggest strengths that come from its action scenes, and man, what incredible action this movie has. It's just a lot of fun, and yeah, just a lot of fun action scenes, and yeah, I mean, the action scenes is I mean, this movie is pretty much the definition of '90s cheese. I mean, this movie is just filled with nothing with that '90s cheese into it, and it's just the action scenes are absolutely absurd. They may be ridiculous, but I mean, you really like enjoy the action because of the cheese. Yeah, that's I mean, you can really see the cheesiness of the action that may actually make it great if actually done right. I mean, there's some action movies where like the cheesiness kind of ruins it, but this one is an exception. Yeah. Okay, so if I were to have any flaws in the movie, I wouldn't say it's a flaw, but rather a nitpick. I think this movie would have been a little better if it took itself a little more seriously. Like, I like comedy's fine, I guess, but it's not. I think this movie didn't really need to be a comedy. On its own, the comedy is great, but it just didn't really need to be there. But my main flaw with the movie is pretty much how forgettable the villain is. I mean, I don't even remember. I don't remember a single thing from the villain. The only thing I remember from him was that he's pretty much how do I say this? He's just a terrorist, like an anti-American terrorist, and that's it. I mean, he has some cool action scenes, but I don't know. That just leads to nothing. So yeah, and yeah, man. Well, yes. While True Lies is pretty much um, while True Lies is not one of my favorite James Cameron movies. It's probably my second least favorite James Cameron movie behind Abyss, and this is pretty much a movie that I really don't have much to say about it. Other than it's just a fun yeah movie. True Lies is pretty much a highly underrated James Cameron movie that shows that James Cameron can do something that goes out of his comfort zone and can make something different with some really absurd and ridiculous action scenes that goes full on cheesy and a great spy performance with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This movie is just a lot of fun, and if you want to watch some mindless entertainment, this movie is for you. So yeah, I mean, it's not really up to par with like James Cameron's masterpieces, but this movie is really good. I mean, maybe my top five favorite movies of 1984, but I gotta think about it. So that said, I'm gonna give True Lies a 9 out of 10. So that's all for my review, True Lies. Yes, I know it's really short, but that's just pretty much the best I could say. It's just a movie to have a fun time with. Nothing too much to analyze. So that's all for my review of True Lies. What is your opinion, True Lies? Do you think this movie is underrated? If you haven't seen this movie yet, I definitely recommend it. Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, and stay tuned for my final part of my James Cameron reviews leading up to Avatar: The Way of Water, which is Titanic. Really excited to talk about that one as Titanic celebrates its 25th anniversary this month. So yeah, bye guys.